got wrong numbers. Whatever, fix it later, we gotta go. Hold on, something. Bob, are you ready?
I am ready.
Good evening, everybody. Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsaway. Bob, it's a beautiful night for soccer. A little humid tonight. Edgewater, Castle FC, the visiting team here on a baseball diamond here at beautiful Dooley and Healthcare Field. The home team, Steel City FC, and Bob, they just got to erase what happened in their last game, a 5-0 beatdown by RKC Third Coast. That was on the road. Now they're at home sweet home, and they need a big victory tonight if they want to stay alive to be one of the first two teams to finish the season in Division 2 to go up to Division 1.
Yeah, it's so right, that first game. But you just have to pretend that first game never happened. You have to pretend it was part of preseason. You're a home opener. Nothing matters. It's 0-0, and anything can happen at this point in time. Steel is a very, very good team. As you pointed out, we're at a baseball stadium. This is a fantastic field. You know, Dooley Health and Care Field, great place to play soccer on a baseball field. But this great baseball field is AstroTurf everywhere, so it's not even a dirt infield. Like from the camera, it looks like it's a dirt infield, but that's all flat AstroTurf too. And when they do play baseball here, they take the pitcher's mound. It's really just 2x4s and some AstroTurf on top of that. Great place to play. It is a gorgeous evening, maybe on the chilly side, but perfect weather for soccer. So the Steel's going to get the ball first.
So it'll be Steel City to start. Start.
Get my audio?
There's no IFEs tonight. Stay down there. No, stay down there.
So
and here we go, opening kickoff as here comes Steel City. Right-footed kick as it's sent over.
I like this. It's a good start. They're just not kicking it upfield and losing it right away. They're trying to maintain possession. That's what you want to do. It's actually soccer is actually a ball possession game.
Kicked out of bounds by Steel City, as it will be a throw-in coming up for Edgewater Castle, as it'll be number 6 to take it for Edgewater. Throw-in successful, avoids the handball, and it will be a throw-in for Steel City. On the throw-in was number 10.
And what you don't like to see is a turnover on the throw-in. Edgewater Castle with the ball.
Lysick was after it. Last touch by Degatti. Enzo Degatti, watch out for him, Bob. He had a huge penalty kick goal in the Illinois State Cup. That was in the semifinals against AFC Roscoe. And we always talk about how tough it is for the goalkeepers and penalty kicks. The score after 90 minutes of regulation time was 0-0. But if we count the penalty kicks, the score was 5-4. So the goalkeepers had no chance on those PKs.
Well, it's only from 12 yards away. The goal box is 18 yards, right? So 12 yards away, it's hard to stop that. And nowadays, players are getting really wise and going in and slowing the approach down, making the goalie commit to which side they go before you kick it the other way.
Right-footed boot, little give-and-go play, still at midfield. Has tapped over to the boundary. Now after it is 22. Ribbons falls to the pitch, and Degatti after it now.
You said it right. He falls to the pitch. I say he was tripped.
Left-footed boot, tried to go high, just over the outstretched arms of Koshik. Goal kick coming up. First opportunity for either team, and it's a shot just a little bit high for Edgewater Castle.
And not by much. That was like a foot or two over the crossbar. Point your toe a little downward, keep the ball a little bit under you, stay over the ball, and that would have been a goal. That was close. So the first quality attempt from Edgewater Castle.
Right-footed boots, straight up. Good hang time on that, but no one home to retrieve it. Headed up by Edgewater. Could be a foul on Steel City. We play on, but after all that, it is indeed a foul on Steel City. Pretty obvious call right there, Bart.
Yeah, I think the referee was waiting to see if there was going to be advantage or not. If there was advantage, he wasn't going to call it, but Edgewater came up with the ball, and so therefore the whistle.
Right-footed boot to the boundary. As stolen away by Darlarge.
That's
Sent
encouraging.
Over. As I'll be back in 30 seconds.
So turnover on Edgewater gives Steel City the ball. Now Edgewater back with it. If you can get those turnovers, though, like I said, it's a ball control game. So every time you can get a turnover, now you have a chance. That was a pretty good opportunity out in front, but got spoiled, obviously.
Straight up in the air. Off the foot as stolen away by Steel City. Left-footed boot right in the center circle as Edgewater Castle steals. So Steel City FC, they've had some ball possession, partner, but they haven't been able to do much with it.
Yeah, both teams, what I feel like is they're both turning the ball over. I guess you could argue the defenses are stealing the ball, but I think you have to be a little bit more, I don't know, ball possession greedy.
Nice job keeping it in that time by DeGotti. Also had that big game-winning goal last season against Green Bay Glory. And, of course, Green Bay Glory now in Division I. Two teams moved up. It was AFC Roscoe and Green Bay Glory. The two teams that moved down, well, one of them was Steel City. As they were in Division I last year, they just didn't get enough offense. And so far that's been the case in the season thus far. Still no goals, and they almost gave up one a minute ago.
Well, they should do well at this division. I felt like they were a good team in the division they were in last year. So we'll see how this goes. But like you said, they got beat the first game.
We want to welcome Storm Soccer Club, a competitive club serving in the Braidwood and Coal City areas. We also welcome Shorewood Soccer League, serving the Shorewood area since 1982, as Edgewood with a chance here right near the foul line. That crosser, no one home to retrieve it. And no obtaining the ball will be Steel City. Maybe a push-off, no call. And that's the precedent set forth by the referees tonight.
There's another push-off. This one will get called.
That was pretty blatant. Not a yellow card per se, but a pretty blatant push.
Well, it comes down to if both players are going for the ball and there's pushing off left and right, those aren't called. But on that play, there's only one player that could get it and got pushed from behind.
So just one shot for either team. As now it'll be Koshik to take it outside his box. Koshik, he goes to Marquette as the opposing goalkeeper and Aiden Crawford. If you score tonight, Bob, keep the ball. Aiden Crawford at Loyola, he gave up 1 goal in 7 games this season. And last year he posted 5 shutouts.
Well, and what you have to wonder is how good is Loyola's defense?
Look at that play. Kicks it to himself, gains meters on the play. First chance of the night for Steel City. Kicked out, but a corner kick coming up.
Yeah, that was a slide tackle. Fortunately, he got the ball first. Otherwise, you're looking at, well, a free kick from just outside the goalie box.
This Steel City corner kick is brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. And by the way, let's make some noise.
This Steel City corner kick is brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group.
And this is the first corner kick of the game, so that's brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. No matter where you are in your financial journey, let Pursuit Wealth Group show you the way. Right-footed boot coming up.
It's a golden opportunity here.
Good hang time. Near the box, header. And just a little bit wide. You always got to wait because sometimes we thought a goal was scored and then the ball went to the center court. The center area, but there was no goal that was scored.
Well, we're in a good spot. We're right in the middle, but at the same time, it's a big field, right? So we're about 60 yards away, 70 or 80 yards away, and the net moves. The ball couldn't really tell if it went over the crossbar or not. The net moves, but they weren't jumping up and down celebrating, so he knew it was not a goal.
So it'll be Crawford to kick. And it's a pretty nice one. As near the center circle, here come the Rooks. Pretty cool mascot, the Rooks. They got the castle. As stolen away by Steel City. Steel City FC doesn't have a mascot per se, but they have the skull and crossbones.
Well, that's enough of a mascot, don't you think?
Today's game brought to you by Ozinga, of course. Do you have ice in your veins? Steel City women do. Catch their home debut in the United Women's Soccer League June 1st at Providence Catholic at 6 p.m. Steel City women are led by ex-West Ham United star Zoe Swift. See their opener June 1st at Providence as Koshik kicks that ball away. And not only did he do that, Bob, but he got a lot of meters on that kick.
Yeah, 3/4 of the way down the field.
So remember when we interviewed that English player for Chicago Nation?
I remember.
It's either a soccer field or a football pitch. You cannot mix either term, according to the Englishman.
I'm in complete agreement. It finally took him for you to believe me.
Well, it's their sport, right? They claim to have invented it, the English.
Yeah.
So
and the reason for that is history. They played, I'll call it football, on a cricket pitch.
So it's a football pitch or a soccer field. You cannot combine the two.
I suppose.
Oh, here we go. Steel City with a chance. That should be a push.
It'll be a corner kick.
It was in the box. It was really interesting, partner. The Steel City player was nowhere near the ball, but it was a push-off in the box, so it would have been a PK for somebody that wasn't even involved in the play.
If the referee's going to call that kind of action. But usually those kinds of pushes, they're going both ways, jockeying for position.
So another right-footed boot, another corner kick brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. Definitely a different Steel City team than we saw game one on the road against RKC.
Well, yes, true, although it still is early. But I like the corner kick with the right foot, so then it curls towards the goal.
One-timer, easy block. And a break for Steel City went off a Rooks player. 3 corner kicks now thus far for Steel City.
And even though the score is tied, you view it as Steel City as ahead because they've had more quality shots. But that first one for Edgewater Castle, just barely a foot over the crossbar, was a high-end quality kick. But here we go, third corner kick. It's like a 3-0 lead, even though the score is 0-0.
Another corner kick
away from the net.
Another corner kick brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. Good hang time. No one home to obtain it, so Lysick will get another chance. As that crosser up in the air. And just over the net. As the lights finally come on at Dooley and Healthcare Field.
That was an excellent pass across the goal mouth. There was 2 or 3 Steel City players waiting to get a header if it just got over the goalie. Instead, it got over the net.
Support businesses that support Steel City, including Hella, Obscura, John Wright State Farm Agency, and Always Home Real Estate Services. When Steel City travels, it travels with DRC Buick GMC in Joliet, as that's a nice pass near the box. DRC is a leader in supporting Joliet, serving the area for over 30 years with all their car buying and servicing needs. Out at the boundary, trying to get it out in stride. Last touch by Steel City. Throw in coming up. It was last touch by Nugent.
So it's no turnover, but it gives the defense time to get set up. And since the defense did get set up, that's why Edgewater Castle had to go backwards with it.
That's the guy you got to watch out for, partner. Murtada Camille. He had 4 goals last year in that 5-0 beatdown of WISC.
Playing defense today.
11th minute of play here in the first half.
So Steel City started off a little shaky, but after that, they've got rid of the rust and they've taken the pressure to the visitor in Edgewater.
That's what it looks like this game is going to be a lot about. I think Steel City is going to continue to push the pace, I guess you'd say. A couple, 2 or 3 more corner kicks, one's bound to go in. So far, only 1 quality shot. In fact, that's about it entirely for Edgewater Castle. So you'd have to say at this point in time, Steel City is winning the game even though the score is tied.
Keep the pressure, right? They keep crashing the net. That shot that went off an Edgewater player and led to another corner kick, and they've had 3 corner kicks to just 1 for Edgewater.
Well, plus there was that really excellent cross from Lysick that just didn't go in.
Make sure you're logging the corner kicks as well.
Right now, Edgewater Castle is having a tough time getting the ball past midfield, frankly. The game definitely has taken a turn. We like this pass.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass right on stride in front. then kicked away.
I like the pass, so if it made it through, now the odds weren't high it was going to make it through, right? But if it did make it through, there's definitely a Steel City player that could have tipped that back in. And now we're at the fourth corner kick. So corner kicks aplenty today.
It's now 4 corner kicks for Steel City, brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Grip.
Yeah, we're going to need like double-digit stats for this.
Not a good one. But they score anyways! A line drive pass, and it caught the Rooks off track, off guard, and they score.
Sorry, that just slipped out. That was a perfect pass across the goal mouth at the right height, got headed right in, great redirection. But that's what I mean. The fourth corner kick results in the first goal. You get 4 more corner kicks, got a second goal. Now Edgewater, who's had a tough time getting the ball past midfield, except for that first play. Steel City is not going to go into a defensive shell here, but Edgewater Castle is going to have to play better if they're going to get any more quality shots on. It was a matter of time before Steel City got that goal. What a great centering pass.
That Steel City goal brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group.
Yeah, I think you were reacting to the fact that it was a low pass from the corner, and then if there's a low pass, you would think there would be a defender in between that and somebody you could head it in. But great play by Steel City.
It sure was a heck of a pass.
Yeah.
Just caught the Rooks.
And another turnover, so back to Steel City. So they are ruling the roost today. Back to their goalkeeper.
Hey, try to look at it one more time of who the number it was. So Lysick was on the pass.
Yeah, Lysick, I think at this level is going to be deadly. He was very good at the level above, and now here he is, and he's going to be deadly. If we had to take a player to click, Lysick would be my choice. Now he's got 1 assist, no goals yet. Keyword yet. And I'm sure Steel City is very upset over that first game, and they're going to continue to make up for it.
So
I don't think they're going to be happy to win 1-0 or 2-0. I think you're going to see more goals tonight.
So that Steel City goal brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group, credited to Christian Baumgartner and assisted by Jake Lysick.
Pursuit Wealth is getting a lot of airtime with all these corner kicks.
Another chance for Steel City, but off the foot.
To number 7, Jake Lysick, welcome in the 12th minute of play. Baumgartner found Lysick in the 12th minute. Steel City leads 1-0.
I was wrong. It's not a goal kick. It's a corner kick. And here's the 5th one.
5 corner kicks. I'm sure that the head coach, led by Dayugu Urdagan, is going to talk to her team. That's now 5 corner kicks. Way too many given up. Lysick, this pass up in the air, header. A little bit high, and
well, sometimes you can't help it. If it is the case that Steel City is that much better, there's going to be a lot of corner kicks, and eventually more are going to go in. So right now, Edgewater Castle is up against it. Let's see if they can carry the ball past midfield without a turnover. And that's been the trouble for them today. Steel City's just been wonderful on defense. They're taking it up gingerly, making sure their passes connect. That's the way to approach it. Don't just send it and then get a turnover.
So 5 corner kicks for Steel City, just 1 for Edgewater. And since that shot went a little bit too high, partner, the Rooks haven't done much offensively.
It's a nice pass into the corner.
Through ball.
Oh, okay.
And who touched it last looks like Steel City, so it'll be a corner kick coming up.
So Edgewater Castle not giving up in any way, shape, or form.
First report of the day brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. Jackson Magad and Jackson 1-0 lead for Steel City as Christian Baumgartner on the header.
Yeah, Baumgartner on a great goal right there, putting Steel City up 1-0 early in the game, giving them good momentum going into the remainder of the first half, hopefully into the second half for Steel City FC.
So Edgewater had that early, a lot of momentum for Edgewater. They put the pressure on Steel City. What has the coaching staff for Edgewater said the last 10 minutes as the momentum of the game has gone the way of Steel City, including the score?
Yeah, I've been hearing them on their sideline a lot. Just say, pick it up, guys. Get the ball onto our side in a position where we can attack, and that's really been the main message from the Edgewater coaching staff to this point.
And what is Steel City, their coaching staff, been talking to their players? That's their first goal of the season, by the way.
Yeah, Steel City just really focused on taking advantage of the opportunities they got. Their head coach making sure everybody is putting themselves in the best position to put the goal in the back of the net, and they've had success to this point.
All right, Jackson, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next 10 minutes or so.
Thanks,
Back
Kyle.
to Bob Vilsaway is 1-0 lead for Steel City. That crosser, as able to get it, is Crawford.
And that was an easy one.
Doesn't get much easier than that.
Right.
Slow-moving ball, no traffic in front.
Right. But when you score a goal like that, you want an easy one.
So to advance to Division I, as we know, Bob, you got to be the 2 best records of Division II. Steel City was one of the worst records in Division I last year, which is why they're in Division II. They want to go back to Division I. Got a long way to go, but they're up 1-0 this far.
Well, but I think they're going to be on a mission this year. And I think it often happens where somebody that moves down then moves back up. There is truly a difference between the levels. So when you move back down, you're still one of the top teams in the level below. And then when you move back up, you got some work to do to stay up.
Other thing is, too, that goal differential. That's a bad tiebreaker, giving up 5 goals. So not only do they have to win, but probably continue to win because the goal differential tiebreaker is against them.
Yeah, all true, but I think their pride is going to make them want to continue to score goals more than the concern about a potential tiebreak. But yeah, every goal matters. You just never know at the end of the season who you're going to be tied with.
But if you keep winning, you don't have to worry about goal differential.
And I think that's what the Steel coaching staff is, Steel City
and that's what
coaching
makes
staff
soccer
is.
so great. Gets the name, the beautiful game, for many reasons. One of the reasons, in my opinion, is the win is so important because you get 3 points for it instead of 1. I love hockey too, but you only get 2 points for a win in hockey.
Well, and that comes down to strategy. If you're tied, you try to win that game anyway, and if you win one but lose one, well, you end up with an extra point as opposed to getting 2 draws. So that's how soccer allows teams to want to continue to try when the score is tied.
That's one of the reasons Edgewater did not advance to Division I last year. They finished in 4th. They actually gave AFC Roscoe their only loss of the season, a 3-1 win for the Rooks, but 4 draws. That's not going to get you to Division I. You got to get some victories out of that.
Yeah, you want those 3 points.
Meanwhile, Edgewater, one of their few opportunities of the match this far.
Yeah, there was a foul at midfield like that, but then again, the referee decided advantage, don't call it.
The other thing is, too, Bob, do we really want to see 15 fouls called on both teams? I guess you could do that, but
I'd like to see that in the other sports where if the foul occurs but the other team still has an advantage so the foul doesn't adversely affect the team with the advantage.
Breakaway coming up. Baumgartner pass. Lysick shoots. Another chance for Lysick. Fakes the shot. Still in the box. Lysick maintaining his positioning. Big save by Crawford. Could have been the game winner for Lysick. Meanwhile, here comes Baumgartner. Crosser.
He was just looking for somebody to pass to on the side, and just nobody was open, unfortunately. He did a great job to hold the ball in the box until finally he had to get rid of it. What a great job, though. The first shot, it was too well defended. He only had like half the net to shoot it into. That's where the goalie was, and there were a couple defenders, too. It was a great kick, great scoring attempt, just didn't make it in. But, so far, pick the click. Lysick is doing a great job.
We talk about how good of a goalie Crawford is. Guess what his major is at Loyola?
Math? No, Loyola. He's going to be a doctor.
Pretty close. Cellular and molecular biology.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, well, you don't know he's not going to go and be a doctor someday then.
He's got a 4.0 GPA.
Maybe research in a lab somewhere. Yeah, I was good in college, but I would never attempt those majors.
We're at 20 minutes through in this first half.
What's going on, bud? What's going on?
Leading 1-0.
Got to keep. Oh, my God. You're killing me, Smalls. Okay.
There, that foul got called.
Make sure it's charged. If it's not charged, make sure it's charged.
Edgewater now holding on to the ball a little bit longer than before, so that's a good sign for Edgewater. And of course, broadcasters jinx, they lost it instantly. And now a breakaway. This looks bad. Edgewater with a great save on that breakaway. Went out of bounds. Steel City's going to keep the ball.
Okay.
What Steel City needed to do is get rid of the ball sooner and kick it over the diving goalie. That's hard to make happen in real time.
They're taking it to the Rooks.
Yeah. Question, I think, in this game is going to be how many goals. All right, there's a send that didn't get through. So, again, a turnover. Steel City with the ball.
She is a leader in supporting Joliet, serving the area for over 30 years with all their combine and servicing needs.
Lysick, danger, danger, taking it down the left side.
Yep, trying to find 22.
He did. That's a great pass.
22 pass over to Baumgartner in the box. Lysick to himself, falling down on his own accord. And Lysick didn't even argue a call. He knew that he fell down on his own accord. So,
who do we attribute all flops to these days? It's no longer LeBron has a corner on the market.
Tagati leading the way, left-footed boot. No one touched it. And where will it go? Oh, what a break for Edgewater, as it did not go to the end line at the very corner right before it hit the flag. So it has to be a throw instead of a goal kick.
It had a spin to it. Now the trick is the ball's all the way down here. You got to find a way to steal that inbounds throw.
This is a break. Well, you do get what? You get 10 feet to do the throw-in, so you don't have to do it right where the ball ends.
And he took full advantage of the fact that he can run up the field a little bit.
You think they should change that rule? Because it would have been advantage Edgewater if he would have had to do a throw-in right where the ball exited.
I think they should, myself. When you lift up that back foot and before you throw the ball, if you lift it up a quarter second before you throw the ball, it gets called and the other team has it. But you can run 10 yards upfield and then throw it.
Because in golf, what do you get? A golf ball's distance, or what? A little quarter drop when you're like right next to the tree,
or on top of a dandelion or something, right?
But that was not close to the golf rules. He was 10 feet away from where the ball exited the sideline.
Yeah, there's no dandelions there. Lysick with the ball again. Danger, danger.
Nice move. Gets it to his right foot. Keeps it away from the end line, trying to tap it in. Baumgartner, and kicked away by Edgewater. What do they have to do defensively? Because one more goal, if they give it up, the way Steel City is playing defensively, that might be enough offensively for Steel City.
Well, I would start with, you got to mark Lysick, so he just gets far fewer touches. You know, you don't want the Messi of this team to keep touching the ball. So you got to mark him, so it's hard to get the ball to him, because he obviously can ignite any offense. There's a trip. So that's first, mark him, right? And then when somebody is roaming free in your box, obviously you have to mark that person. It starts with marking the offensive players. So far they had numbers on defense too. It was just a very, very good pass. Kind of a weak redeflection, but the defender was in the way.
Ken O'Hare at State Farm. Steel City Steel.
And headed straight forward by Edgewater near the center circle. Trying to head it to himself off the body of a Steel City player, and then kicked back to Edgewater territory. Another header now played by Darlarge over to Nugent, and now to the sideline. Munoz and over to Hennicka. He's been very quiet tonight, but they haven't needed Hennicka like they did 2 years ago, because Baumgartner, nicknamed the Train, has been a train and then some tonight. Hennicka, of course, was in Europe last year. He spent his last summer in Germany. And Steel City just showing that that game against RKC might have been a fluke. Now they're at home. That does matter, partner, when you're playing away from home versus at home. But
well, and first game, you know, I can't verify, which players are here then versus which players are here now. But they're playing very, very, very well today. They're playing like a team that wants to move up.
Obviously, a long drive for Edgewater was terrible traffic on 355. Lysick, nice kick to Baumgartner. Did Baumgartner touch that with his back foot? My goodness.
Yeah, and over the back reception, amazing touch.
Just the hand-eye coordination to get that done. All those hours of practice. Shot off the side of the net, no goal.
Yeah, I feel like earlier that was a low percentage pass from Steel City, but they got away with it. There were 2 offensive players and like 4 defenders in the way of that pass. It still went through, and then they had another chance at the shot, but obviously it went wide.
When we talk about championships, obviously if they win Division II, Steel City will move up to Division I. Baumgartner is an MLS Next champion with Chicago Fire 2 back in 2022.
That's a good story.
And Nicka, if he becomes hot today, he has the 5th most goals all time at McAllister College. As that's straight up in the air, header back over to Kosick. As our second field report brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. 1-0 lead for Steel City on the corner kicks. They've been plentiful tonight for Steel.
They have been plentiful, and same thing as I said last time, the Steel City coaching staff really focusing on getting those opportunities and capitalizing on the opportunities that they get when they arise.
What kind of adjustments will Edgewater make going into the second half? What has the coaching staff been saying to their players as you've noticed it on the sideline?
Two main words I've heard from the Edgewater coaching staff: organization and communication. Those are the two big things that are being emphasized by this coaching staff, and I think if they could get those things done, they'll be able to have a chance in the second half.
Jackson, final thoughts. Steel City, a little bit shaky to start the match, but they've been great the last 22 minutes.
They have been fantastic for this last 22 minutes. They really look like they're in a groove out there, playing cohesively, moving the ball well, and defending well as well, keeping the ball on the attacking side of their field, and it's been paying off for them.
All right, Jackson, we'll see you one more time before the end of the first half.
Thanks, Cal.
So 1-0 lead for Steel City. Jackson, one of our interns, doing a nice job for us.
And I'm just going to comment on that coaching thing. Communication and organization sounds too cliche to me. Yes, you need more of that, but I think what really has to happen is shorter, quicker passes and fewer turnovers, and then move the ball up a little bit more deliberately instead of sending it. So let's see. They've got the ball in the offensive zone.
Yep. Another chance for Edgewater. Still loose. Left-footed boot blocked. Who touched it last? No Steel City players going after it, which means corner kick awarded for Edgewater.
That's just fantastic defense.
What do you want to do here if you're Edgewater? Do you want to do that line drive kick that Steel City scored on the goal for Baumgartner?
Well, you always try and get the far post from here, and if you have a right-footed kicker, it looks like this one's going to be left-footed kicker, but you want that ball to go on the far post. If you curl away from, you have less defense in the way, but if you curl toward the goal, it's a left-footed kicker, so you got to get in tight with this pass. And you have to have somebody in the way of the goalie, so it's not so he can, you have to be sly about that. This is a bounce. That's not going to work, but they're going to get it back.
Didn't have to touch it. He could have let it go out.
Yeah.
But they'll try again. Oh, knocked into his own player. Actually, Koshik knocked into two players.
That was really close to an own goal. The goalie went for it, got knocked down at the same time he was catching the ball. That ball easily could have deflected into the goal. But that was a good shot. Tight to the goal, curling with the left foot toward the net. It was well executed from Edgewater.
We're going to watch it on replay in a second.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't want to give up corner kicks. Set pieces, those are the best set pieces you can set up. Also, those free kicks that are 20 feet or 30 feet away from the goal. Meanwhile, Lysick is trying to kick it away as Edgewater.
What I like about Lysick in that case is he had the ball tackled away from him, and he did not flop.
And it's going to be a foul on it. Oh, offsides, okay. First offsides, both teams have been very disciplined thus far.
That's true. I didn't notice. That's the first offside. You're right.
Well, you should have noticed. You're the color commentator, aren't you?
You would think.
That's why we pay you pennies by the hour instead of dollars by the hour?
Oh, no. Well, the team in the white with the light blue pants just passed it forward, and the team with the red and the black stripes stole it.
That's one of the greatest commercials. That's your former employer, AT&T, that did that commercial.
Oh, yeah, Lily.
No, this was before Lily, remember? It was the guy at the scores table that was doing literally color commentary.
Oh, I remember that. That's probably after Lily, but
no, it was
AT&T,
before Lily. Lily was 2021. This was 2019.
Lily was back in 2016.
So I guess it was in between. Lily had the weekend off. It was during March Madness. Anyways.
That was a great commercial campaign.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go on Google, search color commentary, AT&T March Madness commercial. You won't be disappointed. Meanwhile, at the far boundary, nice kick by Darlarge. And, this is a team led by Erdogan, and they emphasize ball possession, Bob, but they haven't had a lot of ball possession today. Do we credit Steel City or a little bit of lackluster play from Edgewater?
No, to me, this is absolutely Steel City's defense. They are probably an upper division team. That's offside also. Anyway, they are an upper division team, and I think they are on a mission to go back there. I don't think they feel like they belong at this level. Not that they're that much better than this level, but they are a good team, and I think they should be at the above level. So they're going to go on a mission, come in first or second, move back up, I think.
Still a little bit worrisome. It's one thing to lose away from home. It's another thing to lose 5-0 away from home. But it's one game, and Steel City showing that today. That was then, this is now, and they're up 1-0. Remember, they're only up 1-0, though. You want the 3 points, not the 1. So if you're Steel City, try to get that second goal to put this one away.
Well, and it's still early in the game. There's a nice redirect. One-timer.
Right. And just like that Englishman that we interviewed from Chicago Nation, that might have gone out of bounds. The flag went up.
Yeah, he did put the flag up. I was thinking the ball needs to be 100% out of bounds. Maybe part of it was still in, but the flag did come up.
Yeah, I agree with the guy on the flag. It sure looked like the entire ball went out of bounds.
Yeah, and of course we have the best angle on that.
Didn't really matter. The crosser went right into the arms of Koshik. So.
Right, so either way, it's a goal kick.
Do you like the rule that the goalkeeper can't pick the ball up when it's kicked by his teamate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think if you kick it back to your goal, the rule, of course, is the goalie has to use your feet to do something with it.
Just a couple of things. Of course, we saw earlier where the ball was right before it hit the flag, but you do get 10 feet of leeway room to do the throw-in, so they allowed the Steel City player, I believe it was Darlar, to do the throw-in.
Yeah, I don't want to change this fantastic traditional game any, right? But I think it would be fun to play soccer without offsides. So you could have cherry pickers at the other end.
Or can we automate? I know it's tough, but can we automate it like tennis does with automation of did it hit the line or not?
Oh, you could. The technology is there.
Because we don't automate it in hockey. Could we automate it in hockey on the blue line? That's another question. But meanwhile, Steel City up 1-0. We'll have the text line in the second half, brought to you by Ozinga.
But if you had no offsides rule, you would have a lot more 2-on-2, 3-on-2 types of situations. I think the scoring would be higher. I think it would be an exciting game,
right.
But it would definitely be a different game.
And what's interesting about it is the average soccer fan doesn't know offsides, whereas the average hockey fan, it's easier for them to decipher offsides.
Right. Well, the offsides in soccer, it's where the offensive player is when the ball actually gets kicked.
Correct.
It's not when they receive the ball, it's where they were when the ball got kicked. So it's not as easy for the line judges to decide if it's offside or not, because they have to keep an eye on where the player is and keep an ear toward where the ball got kicked and then decide if it's offsides or not. It's a hard call to manage. And now with the replay systems, it catches those. But you can be just a little bit, your hand or your head or your hair can be ahead of the other player, and you're offsides now with the replay systems. I like it because before, man, were there a lot of goals that were scored on offsides that weren't called. I mean, it used to be you'd try to go ahead and go offsides to get that goal, and you risk it wouldn't get called. Well, now with the replay systems, it always does get called, at least at the higher levels.
So see how Edgewater answers.
Oh, there's takedown.
Not even going to argue it. He just places the ball down, and definitely a blatant foul call there.
Yeah, it hasn't been entirely that physical of a game. It's been kind of a mild-mannered, gentlemanly game. We'll see if that changes as it gets later with a one-goal lead. But so far, it's a real clean game. We saw, our second offsides? There haven't been truly physical tackles, a couple slide tackles, but so far no slide tackles that have got the player. It's all slide tackles that actually did get the ball first. Edgewater Castle with the ball, with control, and that's what they need to do. Shorter passes, a little higher percentage of time with the ball.
Midwest Orthopedics at Rush, the highest-ranked orthopedic program in Illinois, is proud to serve the Joliet community. To be your best, see the best. Richards Building Supply, Chicagoland's premier exterior building material supplier, carries the most respected brands in residential roofing, siding, windows, decking, and more. There's a chance for Edgewater near the box, and we play on. Good job not slide tackling near the box. Steel City avoiding the PK.
Numbers.
Here we go,
onside.
2-on-2. Baumgartner's wide open. Chance for Steel City. Tap pass. Baumgartner scores! Crawford mad at either his defense or no offside call. Baumgartner was definitely onside, and a goal awarded for Steel City.
What a great pass first, and secondly, he just outran the defense. He was behind the defense, got forward behind him. It was just easy pass, easy goal. The trick for the shooter, of course, is to just ensure when he makes that pass, it's going to be an onside situation. You feel like it's a matter of time before Steel City continues to score more goals. So they're up to 2 now. It's going to be almost impossible for Edgewater Castle to come back in this game.
Was Edgewater a little bit too aggressive on offense, didn't have enough men back to help guard Baumgartner?
Well, Steel City had numbers on that run.
Baumgartner gets the nickname The Train. I think we're starting to see why tonight. 2 goals, one off a set piece, the other on a 2-on-2.
Yeah, well, he put some fuel in that train and sped ahead.
Well said, Bob, well said.
Yeah, now here's another open pass into this corner.
You know, the old saying is hockey, the worst lead to have in a hockey game, 2-0 for Steel City. As Hawk Harrelson said, don't stop now, boys. Keep the pressure on, but Don't have to be overly aggressive anymore on offense if you don't want to. Last report of the first half brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group. Jackson, Christian Baumgartner has the nickname Train for a reason. He now has 2 goals. Both of Steel City's goals have come off his foot.
Yeah, Steel City, what I've been hearing from their bench, not a whole lot. They seem to be in a groove, and the coaches are just sitting back watching it happen. The one thing I did hear from the Steel City coaching staff is that we need to maintain urgency. If they maintain urgency, they'll be able to create more chances like the ones we've seen so far.
So obviously Crawford was not happy. Was he yelling at his teammates to get back quicker on defense, or was he yelling at the officials for Baumgartner potentially being offsides?
From my angle, it looked like he wanted an offsides call there. He looked like, it was definitely close, but I think it was a mix of him both being upset with his teammates for not being back, but his yelling was mainly directed at the official due to the lack of a offside call.
Jackson, thank you so much. We'll see you in the second half.
Yep.
As that goal brought to you by Pursuit Wealth Group, scored by Christian Baumgartner. AJ Vora on the assist.
I like the comment this time. The Steel City coaching staff said they want to maintain the urgency. That's the right word here. They lost the first game, so they need to ensure that they win this game, right, so that they can stay at least in the middle of the standings before they continue to win. But you got to win this one before you continue to win. They need to maintain this urgency the whole entire game. They've got the lead 2-0, but don't stay back and just play a defensive shell here. Continue to press. You have to learn how to beat these teams at this level. And if they score multiple goals going along the way, hey, that's fine. But don't get complacent.
So Lysick subbed out. Will that be the last time we see him tonight?
City women do. Catch their home debut with United Women's Soccer League.
Meanwhile, near the box, left-footed boot, wide.
Steel City women are led by ex-West Ham United stars Zoe Swift.
And you wonder which of these guys for Edgewater are left-handed.
At 6 p.m. at Providence Catholic.
Obviously, if that's his dominant foot, he just missed it. But if that's not his dominant foot, then it was good defense by Steel City forcing him to his left.
Oh, and that's the trick to get to this level. You want to be as ambidextrous as you can with your feet to be able to kick off either foot. But you oftentimes one foot is stronger and can kick it harder than the other. I think he just aimed it a little bit crooked.
Yeah, even though it was his left foot, maybe should have had that goal, but Steel City was right there to potentially block it.
Well, nobody said it's easy to kick it in. There's always somebody in the way, right?
Right. You know, it would be interesting to have a Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, etc. skills competition and see how quick the ball comes off their right and left foots. Because obviously when they have the combine, we know if they're right-handed or left-handed. But it would be interesting, even though their left foot or vice versa isn't their dominant foot, how quick the ball comes off their foot. I think that really tells you if you're one of the best soccer players in the world or not.
Well, like anything, it's all about ball control. It's not the speed. You know, in hockey, the fastest slap shot isn't the best player. In baseball, it might be a little different, bat speed, but you got to still hit the ball first before bat speed matters.
I mean, it's a good point you bring up. Baraldus Chapman throws at 106 miles per hour. Good reliever, but is he Mariano Rivera? No. Mariano threw at 98, but he also had a splitter that nobody could touch.
Well, that and motion on the fastball. I mean, you can keep going, but it's all about ball control here. The speed of the kick does matter at the higher level that you go, but it's still, you got to be able to put the ball in the location you want it to go, and you want to be able to control the ball with one touch. You don't want to have to, control it for a couple, 2 or 3 touches before you can make that pass.
What would you say to the young fans watching today that love soccer and they're in positions where they're right-handed, they're in a position to score, but it's off their left foot? What spot do they want the ball to enter their foot so they can get a good trajectory of the ball to go past the keeper?
Well, you ought to be able to receive the ball with either foot. So to your left or to your right, you don't really want it right at your toes, right? So you want it a little bit to the side like there. He backed away so he could take it in with his left foot. So you want to take the ball in from either side, soft touch, put it down, and then it doesn't roll away from you, and then you can make that second touch to a teammate. So soft feet, to catch the ball, right? And then a one quick pass to somebody else. Don't hold on to it for too long.
Left-footed boot, is that pass?
That pass needed some pace on it. That just was way too slow, and that's why it got intercepted.
Right. Read well by Reyes. There were 3 Edgewater players around the ball. As for Steel City, just look up, because if there are 3 Edgewater players around the ball, somebody for Steel City has got to be open.
Well, and it won't be Lysick for a while.
The way Baumgartner's playing Reyes, they might not need Lysick the rest of tonight.
Well, I think that's what the coaching staff is thinking.
Now remember, Baumgartner scored, but 2 nice passes, including the corner kick, who I thought was a bad one, but as you saw, it was actually by design, as that crosser read well by Crawford.
Well, and the reason you thought it was bad, it was low, right? Usually you want a higher corner kick so it could be headed in. Now this one was headed in, but it was a low header in.
Right.
You got to feel like Edgewater Castle should have had a defender there to be able to kick
Do you
that
think
ball
that
and pass it away.
Lysick saw that and that Crawford and his defense were discombobulated and he just did a quick line drive kick and Baumgartner with a full head of steam was able to head it in?
You know, I didn't think that when I first saw it, but you know, you brought up a very good point. I mean, I would never count Lysick out for thinking that. So if he thought he could get it into that spot and there wasn't a defender in that spot, that was just a fantastic, smart and heady play. If that really was what he was thinking. That was not my initial take, but it very well could be right.
It looked like a set piece, but you don't see a lot of low liners like that.
Usually it's a miss kick when it's low like that. But with Lysick, I don't think I'm counting on it to be a miss kick. You're probably right. He probably did see a hole there. Now, if we end up interviewing him at the end of the game, that would be a great question.
Well, I think it's going to be the trade, 2 goals. It would have to be something crazy where...
As opposed to the guy with all the assists?
No, remember the Reyes had the second one. No hockey assists, as that's still in play and not anymore.
It's a high pop-up out of bounds with spin.
One of the most unique places we've ever done a broadcast is soccer on a baseball diamond.
This is a great place. I love the stadium. I love coming down to the nice fancy stadium.
Kicked away. No one home to retrieve it.
Yeah, I like how he cleared it. Even though he lost possession of the ball, sometimes you just got to get it out of your zone, out of your area. Keep it away from the goalie. Take the pressure off.
All right, Bob, we got 43-24 on the clock. If you're Edgewater, do you play overly aggressive to try to make it 2-1, or do you try your hardest to not give up a third goal?
I think what I would do is play the same way. Don't change any of the game plan, not a couple minutes right before the halftime. And then, talk about what adjustments need to be made at half. And that's going to be the key. What adjustments does Edgewater need to make? They haven't had a whole lot of possession time. So I think what I was saying earlier, shorter, crisper passes and don't lose possession. And I have to say, Edgewater has held on to the ball a little bit longer here. So they are focusing on making sure their passes connect. And, of course, the broadcast jinx goes out of bounds and Steel City's ball.
Support businesses that support Steel City, including Ken, Mulherron State Farm, Steel City Steel, Braintree Properties, and Bobcats of Tinley Park. And also support businesses that support Steel City, including Prison City Vintage, Chicago Street Pub, Amber Duffy Real Estate, Noble Tech, and Durbin's. And at the 44-20 mark, probably going to see Steel City be conservative the rest of the half.
Well, for this next minute, you might see that. On the other hand, a long send behind the defense might be exactly what the doctor orders to get the 3-goal lead still with time to go. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that, maybe even right here.
So Reyes with the assist over to Hanicka. They've shut down Hanicka for most of the night. Problem is they have not shut down Baumgartner.
Great
slide tackle. If they want to score, got to do it in the next 2 or so minutes. We haven't had a lot of stoppages, partner, so probably going to stop it at 47 minutes. No injuries, not a lot of corners except for Steel City. Wide open, Baumgartner, he scores! But he was offside. Whew. What a break for Edgewater.
The scoreboard thinks it's a goal, but yeah, he was offsides. The line judge wasted no time. Yeah.
Even the public address announcer thought he scored.
Yeah, well, it says goal, plain as day on the scoreboard, right? But the flag went up right away by the line judge, so we knew it wasn't the goal, but it was a great play. Or it looked like a great play. Obviously, it's not a great play, or it would have counted.
Right. In basketball, when a guy is wide open for a 3 and then he airballs it, why was he open? Well, that's why. Man, why was Baumgartner wide open in front of the net? Well, that's because he was offside. So here it is again. Baumgartner's right there. Yeah, he's offside a half step. But it's one of those things, Bob. It's like you said, it's so hard for the average soccer fan to decipher, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to improve fan recognition and brand awareness of your game. And when the rules are difficult, does that help or hurt the expansion of soccer in this country?
Well, clearly it doesn't help, but at the same time, like I said, I'd like to see the game played without offsides, and then it would be a totally different game with more scoring and more wide open play. But still, I mean, do you really want to mess with a game that's so good like this? Nice move to get around.
Absolutely. Crosser
and is going to get a corner out of it. Now, they haven't been getting the bevy of corners since, that first, 4 or 5 at the beginning of the game. But here's another one.
6th of the half, only 2 for Steel City. Remember, they could have had a third one if he had let it go out of bounds, but they played it again.
Yeah, but being from where we are up here, absolutely looked like it was going to go, and maybe the tilt on the field says it would have gone out of bounds, but it could be that the player recognized the spin was going the other way and it wasn't going to go out of bounds. But from here, it looked like it was going to go out. Just let it go.
So a left-footed boot trying to put this one away. Liner, header, they score! But it could be offside or a push-off.
It's a goal. It's a goal. Let's light up that scoreboard.
And I have not seen the yellow card yet.
No goal on that play either. Jump the gun on that one, and that'll conclude the first half of play.
And that will do it for the first half. So we will get Jackson down there to let us know what happened. Was it a foul or was it offside? Couldn't have been offside because there were defenders in back of him.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not a goal. I mean, we're going to need the explanation for sure.
Yeah, we're going to watch it on replay too at 50 and 25% speed.
But we give the PA announcer credit. He knew right away it was not a goal, and we give the scoreboard operator credit. They didn't blast goal on the scoreboard this time. But still, a 2-0 lead at halftime. I don't want to say insurmountable, but the way that Edgewater Castle is playing, they're going to have to make the right adjustments to go into and make the right changes in the second half here. And the question is, are they going to be able to do that? And even if they are, what would those changes be? I mean, I'm suggesting shorter passes and a higher percentage of completion rate. In other words, fewer turnovers. It'll be interesting to see how they come out in the second half. And similarly, now you wouldn't think Steel City would have to change anything. Sometimes you have a 2-goal lead and you're thinking, well, let me play more defense, not try to score. But I think Steel City is too early in the season to go into a defensive shell and ensure you win the game that way. I think they're going to continue to try and be offensive minded and make this a 5-0 game from their perspective.
And the other thing is too, for the Rooks, you want the 3 points obviously, but you can't score 3 goals all at once. So you got to find a way to get 2 goals in 45 minutes, get the 1 point. 1 point's better than 0. Obviously you want the 3. But it's going to be really hard to score 3 unanswered goals in the second half.
Yeah, we're leading the league in cliches here, right? Communication, organization, and you can't score all the goals at one time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Can't score 3 goals in 5 minutes, right? We're going to take a halftime break. Then we'll give you some halftime stats powered by Ozinga. You're watching the Rooks against Steel City here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Illinois' top-ranked orthopedic and spine practice, Midwest Orthopedics at Rush, is now in Joliet. See a world-class specialist close to home. To be your best, see the best.
Some people see $1, others see potential. That's because every dollar you invest today, buddy, with a little bit of patience, could be worth $36 in the future. Imagine the potential of all your dollars. The financial wellness app Acorns makes it so easy to save and invest. So download Acorns and give your money a chance to make a whole bunch of little money babies. Acorns, grow your oak.
It is a symbol.
And another 3 for the ball! Oh, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm's here to help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A deal for me?
A deal for everyone!
17 East Van Buren Street, Joliet, Illinois.
This spring, Walsh Floor donated labor and materials to build the new sidewalk, parking lot, and entryway at the new Care for Real headquarters. We also want to thank Ozinga for donating concrete.
Care for Real has been the anchor food pantry here in the Edgewater neighborhood on the far north side of Chicago since 1907. Today we're standing in Care for Real's brand new headquarters. For 50 years, we have been nomadic throughout the neighborhood, renting space, and we are very excited that for the first time we will have our own building here in the heart of Edgewater. This space, we will have our food pantry and our clothing closet, as well as we're really excited we'll have a community room where we'll be able to have other nonprofit partners, social services here on site. Care for Real is extremely grateful for the contributions of Walsh Floor and our new parking lot here and all of the hard work that went into that.
As we reach the final stages of the CTRPM project, we hope that our donation has a lasting impact on the community.
Sergio, you're going to go left wing for Leipzig. Remember, you took inside into the middle.
What's your first half? What is the message? So nice to meet you.
Jackson, how you doing?
Good. All right. Let's see when we're ready here. Steel City coach in Quinazi, and you guys have been playing lights.
Vincent
Quinazi.
Making sure we definitely.
Here with Steel City coach in Quinazi, and you guys have been playing lights out in the first half. What is the message to the team in the second half?
Consistency is key. 2-0 is a dangerous lead to have. So consistency is key. Yeah.
And what are some things that you guys need to keep doing well to maintain your success in the second half?
Making sure we definitely keep the ball, maintaining the ball, looking to go wide, all right, and then just keeping that energy up.
Yeah. Sounds good, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, cool. All right, let's go up. Second half. All right, you ready? You rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
What's your first and last name, real quick?
Lead to have. So.
Both, yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm here with Steel City coach in Quinazi, and you guys have been playing lights out in the first half. What is the message to the team in the second half?
Consistency is key. 2-0 is a dangerous lead to have. So consistency is key. Yeah.
And what are some things that you guys need to keep doing well to maintain your success in the second half?
Making sure we definitely keep the ball, maintaining the ball, looking to go wide, all right, and then just keeping that energy up.
Yeah. Sounds good, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. All right, cool. All right, let's go up.
That is a symbol.
And another 3 for the ball! Oh, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm's here to help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A deal for me?
A deal for everyone! 17 East Van Buren Street, Joliet, Illinois.
This spring, Walsh Floor donated labor and materials to build the new sidewalk, parking lot, and entryway at the new Care for Real headquarters. We also want to thank Ozinga for donating concrete.
Care for Real has been the anchor food pantry here in the Edgewater neighborhood on the far north side of Chicago since 1907. Today we're standing in Care for Real's brand new headquarters. For 50 years, we have been nomadic throughout the neighborhood, renting space, and we are very excited that for the first time we will have our own building here in the heart of Edgewater. This space, we will have our food pantry and our clothing closet, as well as we're really excited we'll have a community room where we'll be able to have other nonprofit partners, social services here on site. Care for Real is extremely grateful for the contributions of Walsh Floor and our new parking lot here and all of the hard work that went into that.
As we reach the final stages of the CTRPM project, we hope that our donation has a lasting impact on the community.
Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsoe.
I was enjoying the halftime. The music is awesome. Right now they're playing stuff from Yes.
So 10 shots for Steel City. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you... God damn it. Hold on.
So they switched sides, and
The second half is underway.
Edgewater Castle with the ball, the defensive zone. We'll see what adjustments they made at halftime. Didn't take them long to get the ball into the forward third, though. Ball's still in play. See if they can get a corner kick out of this at least. Centered, got around his man, kicked out. Forwarded by Steel City. Maintaining control, Edgewater Castle. A little bit of hustle is going a long way here. Oh, it's kicked out of bounds. Now it's going to be Steel City's ball. Lysick with the ball. He's back in, throwing it in from the side. Nope, tosses it inside. It's going upfield. Switching soccer balls. Don't know what was wrong with that one. Taking his time on the throw in. There it goes back to the defense. Pressured. So that was one of the changes. Looks like Edgewater Castle made. A little bit more pressure when Steel City has the ball on their own end.
We'll get the clock fixed for you in a second, folks. Our stats went haywire, but we have 10 shots to 6 for Edgewater and 5 shots on goal for Steel City versus just 1 for Edgewater.
That looked like a handball that wasn't called. Back to the goalie, Edgewater Castle.
So we're going to switch that for you in a second. It should be 46 instead of 45. 2-0 lead for Steel City. Both of the goals were Baumgartner's. One was off a header, one was a kick. And Edgewater and Steel City switched goals.
And the third one he scored didn't count.
There were actually 2 goals that didn't count. One was offside. It's going to be a foul on Steel City. Actually, no call thus far.
Well, that was a tough one. It was a 1-on-4. It was amazing. It was like a dice, right? He's the number in the middle, and he had 4 defenders on the corners around him. Just unfortunately wasn't going to keep the ball in that situation. Then fell over. Perhaps knocked over, hence why I thought might have been a foul in there. But Edgewater Castle again with the ball, leading with the possession time in the second half. And that's a product of them pushing or pressing when Steel City has the ball on their own end. So Edgewater Castle is, a similar kind of a mission that Steel City had. So they're playing a little tougher. See if Steel City can, hang on, let the push or stem the tide, wait it out a little bit. They'll be fine. But again, Edgewater Castle with the ball on their own end.
Right-footed boot. Still in their own territory. Edgewater, their first game of the season. This is the second match of the year for Steel City. And like you said, Bob, it could be a 4-0 match as 2 goals were not counted. One was a foul and another was an offside call. Baumgartner could have a hat trick going into the second half. 10 shots to 6 for Edgewater, 5 on goal, just 1. 6 corners to just 2. Edgewater, the only advantage they have thus far in that first half, they had 3 fouls to 2 from Steel City. Now, look at this speed by Steel City. Lead pass, shot wide. Just kind of ran out of real estate. Good job on the defense from Edgewater to get back into play and force a tough angle shot.
It gets tough. If he shot it back toward the net, the defender was in the way, so he's trying to thread it on the right side. But from this angle, honestly, it looked like an open net. He just missed it. But, obviously it happens a lot faster there, and the defender was right with him. But that was a very nice send and a crossing pass and just a wide shot. Absolutely a quality shot, not wide by a whole lot. So Steel City has to be pretty happy with that play, even though it didn't go in. Like you said, it could have been 4. That would have been 5. So 2 goals that did go in and 3 almosts.
It was Hanika on the shot that went wide.
You hear the train horn in the background. It's like the Detroit Red Wings scored a goal.
As Edgewater's pass from Sampson was past the intended target of Benedito. It's a Rooks team that finished 4th in Division II last year. And they were the only team to beat AFC Roscoe, but this is the bad part of Edgewater, why they had those 4 draws and 3 losses. Sometimes they can be a little out of sorts, and Steel City has taken advantage of that today.
Well, I mean, that's one way to put it. Or I'm just saying, I think Steel City is simply a better team. But, we'll have to see as the game continues.
I don't know if I can say that because they did lose 5-0 to RKC Third Coast. Now, we'll figure out if RKC is the best team in Division II.
I'm thinking RKC is absolutely the real deal. So they lost to a good team, and they're still on a mission to come in first or second to move back up. But they are probably playing with a little bit more sense of urgency today, hence the coaching comment that Jackson made earlier, as opposed to organization and communication, which is too cliche for me. As I said, urgency, that means something. You got to try the whole game. Can't just let up, and you can't sleepwalk. You can't fall asleep. You have to hustle the whole time.
15 minutes gone here in the
You know, it's the proverbial 90 minutes.
2-0.
Off that free kick, Koshik, easy job to get that ball as he rolls it over to the right.
I like the no drama catch on that, though. Right to him, caught it, doesn't bounce off, nobody's in the way.
And Nika, that pass attempt, and
it's a good send. Look out.
yeah, here we go. Shot, and Crawford saving the game thus far. Can his team score 2 unanswered to get the tie?
We've seen like what, 3 breakaways today. All 3 were stopped. It's been some good goaltending.
Koshik hasn't had to do a lot because this Steel City defense, they've eliminated set pieces as Hanika able to kick
There's
that
another
one away.
send that just didn't make its connection. Now the other adjustment looks like Edgewater has made is that they have less defenders, and so they're going to be more susceptible to those sends. Let's see if that pays off. Down 2 goals, you do have to make adjustments like that. But it had that pass connected, it looked like it would have been a 2-on-0 or a 2-on-1. We'll have to watch that as the game progresses. Will Steel City get some more breakaways?
Left-footed boot, sends it straight forward.
Again, a send. Uh-oh.
And chance now for the Rooks, kicked away. Where will the ball go? Hustling play, and make sure that ball goes out of bounds to the sideline and not past the end line.
So they're going to have to throw it in almost from their 0-yard line.
Now, why do you think he touched the ball, Parter? Because it was obviously off Steel City. Or was it off Edgewater?
It was off Edgewater?
Wow, it was off Edgewater.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I'm going to watch that replay in a second.
Yeah, so this is going to be a while before they can move the ball up.
So here we go. So the ball's up in the air. Whew, at the last second, it touched the right foot of the striker. Great officiating there on the pitch.
But you weren't going to say great officiating until you watched the replay.
Well, the replay's there just as a, what is it, a reassuring factor. Just barely goes off the right foot. Wow. And in a game like soccer, look at that, kicking it twice to himself, 3 times, 4 shot. Doesn't matter, Koshik on the save.
I like it, though. That's a good way to hold on to possession, kick it up 2 or 3 times in the air. That's why they teach that to you first thing in kindergarten. And then it was a great shot and also good read by the goalie. That's a hard read to figure out which direction is coming off a foot that's coming out of the air like that. This is Steele here. This looks like trouble.
Right in the box, switching to his left. And that shot, easy save for Koshik, right in the red basket.
Unfortunately, right to his, right to him. Easy, just get down low and make sure it doesn't get past you. He had a lot of net on either side. Unfortunately, just couldn't pull the trigger on the corners. But it was a great defensive steal by Edgewater Castle, and again, a product of putting more pressure on Steel City. So it looks like that adjustment is so far, well, it hasn't paid off in terms of a goal, but it's paid off in terms of ball control.
Over to the sideline. Next report by Jackson McGadd coming up in a minute from now. It's 2-0 Steel City. As in the box, Trey Adams with it. Sends it over to the sideline. If you're just joining us, 2-0 lead right now for Steel City. Baumgartner with both goals. As Jackson McGadd now with us. Jackson, 2-0 lead for Steel City. A couple of chances for Edgewater, but better defense by Steel City.
That's right, Kyle. Steel City really just sitting back and letting things happen as they happen on the field. They're in a great position, in a very advantageous position, and the coaching staff has been relatively quiet, much more quiet than they were in the first half.
Any chance that Edgewater has to at least get the 1 point? Obviously, they want the victory, the 3, but they'd have to score 3 unanswered, and time now the deciding factor for Edgewater.
Right, so to get those 3 points, I think that Steel City's just got to keep doing what they're doing. And as you see the coaches, this is the first time I've really seen him be active this half. They're just they got trust in their guys, and they're letting it happen on the field as it happens.
All right, Jackson, thank you so much. 2-0 lead for Steel City. As we'll see Jackson about 10 minutes from now.
I like those in-game updates.
Yeah, that's a reason why it's a 3-man crew or sometimes a 4-man crew, where you have 2 color commentators and of course the field reporter. But yeah, he's down at field level as we're going to have a substitution coming in for Steel City. 18 into the match. neither team has really utilized their subs. This is just the second sub overall in the match, both of them via Steel City.
Not a whole lot of players on the bench to sub in either for either team.
Yeah, there's over 30 players coming into this match for Edgewater and just 17 for Steel City. So you would think that Edgewater would have a big advantage today in the depth chart.
Well, there's not 30 players on the team today.
And definitely a foul. And you know, it's really interesting. The fans argue it, but the player just catches it and pushes it back. The player knows he fouled more than the fan knew. Or sometimes the fans know it's a foul, but they try to just chirp at the refs a little bit to plead their case.
Yeah, my experience is, as a coach, don't chirp at the refs. They then scrutinize you more than the other team after the chirping. You're better off just take the call, take the medicine, you know, please sir, give me another, and move on. But what you are trying to do when you do chirp at the ref is to get the next call in your favor. You're not trying to reverse the current call. And the referees are human. Sometimes they do fall for that.
So the foul was committed by Harris Sarah Lajija. Meanwhile, that lead pass to Baumgartner. Here's Hanika. Hanika stop and start move. Left-footed boot. Off the foot and sent forward. Stolen away. Here's Darlarge. Yeah, Steel City has numbers.
Oh, there's a takedown.
All right, partner, you call it foul or a yellow card?
Well, he gave him the yellow card. I didn't have a chance, but I would have just said foul.
Yeah. I would have said yellow card. I agree with the ref.
Yeah, well, that's why you said you call it on that one. The ref came out right away with the yellow card. It was an obvious intentional takedown, held him and dragged him to the ground. But why would you do that? You're in an attacking position. That was not a good foul.
I guess the only, well, not a good thing, but the silver lining is it's deep in Edgewater's territory, but you gave up ball possession when you could have gotten the ball back.
And I felt like they had numbers and were on a roll up there. It was just not the time for that foul. I mean, you feel like there was some maybe hitting going on sooner than that, and that was a little bit of payback.
Over to the boundary now with it on his right foot.
Yeah, just not the foul you want to take. But Edgewater, again, bringing the ball up with some ball possession. They're playing better in the second half for sure.
Need 2 goals, though. You're also going up against a Division I goalie in Koshik. Not an easy task at all. Not only are you going up against a Division I goalie, Bob, but a Division I goalie from the Big East in Ryan Koshik.
Well, and Big East, right? I personally don't care who the goalie is. To me, it's all about defense. Because if you can get around the defense, the goalie is going to be helpless on some of those shots. Maybe he'll get a few extra saves, and then maybe the next goal would get. But to me, it's all about defense.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Steel City is forcing Edgewater into tough angle shots. How have they done that for most of the night?
I mean, just the standard defense. They haven't had to pull back. They're not in a, like a school bus situation where everybody's back on defense, right? So they've done a good job keeping the ball out of the middle, and they've had a lot of possession time. So Edgewater Castle is fixing that possession time this half, but they haven't really had quality shots still.
That's where, if you want to advance in soccer, right? Midwest Premier League, then the United Premier Soccer League, then USL2. It's scoring from tough angles, that left-footed boot. And now a chance for Edgewater in the box, and they'll have to retreat and pass the ball to their midfielders.
Now this is where I'd like to see Edgewater Castle. Right now it looks like 5, there's just 2 defenders, right, and then some midfielders, but I feel like they need to push up a little bit more. So you can see the defense. There's only 2 guys back at the midfield area. So the outside defenders are pushing up as if they're midfielders.
Right.
So they're trying to get more push that way.
And I don't know if it's by design, but a lot of the shots that Edgewater has been off their left foot. So Steel City has forced them into tough angle shots, number 1. Number 2, right-handed people are shooting left-footed shots. Now they're semi-pro soccer players, but still it's tough when you're not left-handed shooting off your left foot.
Well, that's by design on the defense. If that really is happening, that's intentional. He's a right-footed kicker, or they are all right-footed kickers. Let's stay on their right foot. If they're going to beat us, make it with the other foot. But like I said, at this level, you really got to be a lot more ambidextrous than just right-footed. I mean, sure, maybe one foot is more powerful than the other, but you've got to have ball control on both feet at this level if you're going to play here.
Now in the center circle.
Now see that you can pass it left here, but now you have to enter the ball somewhere.
Got a lot of good mascots in semi-pro and minor league baseball in Illinois. We got the Pistol Shrimp. The Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp for Prospect League. That's summer college baseball. And right now with the Rooks. Left-footed boot, way too high. And once again, far away shot on the left foot. tough shot to score on.
What I don't like about that as a coach is you worked hard to get the ball upfield and to take a shot that really had no chance of being a goal. So it's just like an automatic turnover. Isn't there an Illinois team named the Pretzels or something? I think that's one of my favorite Illinois team names.
Here's the other thing, Bob. Now we got more fresh legs coming in for Steel City, another sub. How much tougher is that going to be for Edgewater? You're down 2 goals, and now more fresh legs come into the pitch for Steel City to defend and force you into tough angle shots.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think of it the other way. I'm thinking when they put a sub in, there's a reason he didn't start, right? So he's probably not as good as the player that he just replaced, although, like you said, he'll have fresh legs. So when I see subs, I'm thinking, maybe that's the direction on the field we want to attack. So that's my view on that.
Right. And that's what makes coaching so tough in soccer is here's a chance for Steel City.
It's a good chance, too.
That pass in front, and
yeah, they're going to get.
You don't want to give up the corner kick, but you had no choice. Otherwise, it would have been an easy shot right at point-blank range.
Yeah, I feel like that shot. It's Lysick again, right? I feel like that shot was intended to be a corner kick. You know what I mean? He kicked it along the goal line, yet it was going to get on goal if it wasn't kicked out. It was
definitely a crosser. It was a slow-moving crosser, but he forced the defender in a position to either give up an own goal or kick it straight up for the corner kick.
Right. I think that was an intentional shot to get a corner. Very, very smart.
Line drive.
Now he was aiming to curl that in from the corner. Yep.
I mean, you could do that when you're up 2-0. Be a little overly aggressive.
Well, and when you're Lysick, he's got a good foot, good aim, a lot of success, great player.
I don't know if you want to try that on Aiden Crawford with those 5 shutouts at the Division I level. But
yeah, that's where your D1 goalie friend would do real well.
Well, here we go, partner. Like, obviously, if you're Steel City, you want the victory, but the goal differential of the -5 coming into today. So how much more valuable is a 2-0 win over a 2-1 victory?
Yeah, to me, it really doesn't much matter. I think you're going for the wins. You're not worried early in the season about goal differential. I mean, sure, you want to try and score as many as you can, but first you want to secure the victory. Right now it's 2-0. As the game wears on, there's going to be less focus on offense from Steel City. That was a nice kick to be able to get the ball back. But yeah, right now, I don't think Steel City really, from where I sit, they haven't changed their strategy yet. They're not in a defensive shell. They are still trying to score. I think Edgewater Castle has done a good job with ball control. No call on that.
Yeah. That would have been a decent free kick, too. It would be kind of a pseudo corner because it was getting closer to the corner flag.
Yeah, I like the no call from a fan perspective. It wasn't that bad. It hasn't been too physical of a game. No need to call it.
You just got to be consistent, right? If you call it on one side, you got to call it the other.
Well, and nobody's saying it's not consistent tonight. Right. I mean, the Knicks aren't on the field.
Crosser and just cleared away. Just Steel City's just been a little bit better at that tonight.
Well, they're playing a very good game. Very good defensively.
This is a big call.
No, it's Edgewater Castle's ball, pretty sure.
Should be. It looked like Haneka was the last one to touch it, but I've been wrong before. Remember that one I thought it went off.
Well, I cheat. I look at the line judge, which way they aim the flag. But I thought it went off the Steel player.
Yeah, it sure looked like it went off Haneka.
Yeah, he bumped the defender before he got it, and then unfortunately the bump took too long, and he wasn't ready to receive the pass. So it bounced off his foot.
Luckily to get the ball back. Steel City stole it right off the throw-in, but luckily Edgewater got it right back. Ball possession so crucial too. If you want to advance in soccer, try to keep the ball as long as possible. As that's at the end line, crosser, and just cleared by Steel City.
Well, randomly cleared, so it was a turnover on the clear. But he had to get it out of the goal box quick.
Steel City would like to thank its presenting partner in Ozinga. Ozinga is a 4th-generation family-owned American business in the construction materials industry. They make a positive impact on individuals and their families and the community for generations by providing concrete, aggregates, and cement that help build a better future.
That was nicely played. If you're the goalie, you want to try to catch that on the fly and not let it bounce because it can take a short hop, hit something, but he let it bounce one more time. It was a nice sure-handed save.
Right now,
breakaway again.
Yeah, here we go. Another chance. That shot was a touch by Crawford.
And Baumgartner running free on the right side if a pass could have been made.
So this is a big call.
No, there's no touch by the goalie. A little surprised myself. Oh, it wasn't Baumgartner that was free. Oh, yeah, there it is. It was him.
So this is big. So here's the pass. It looked like, as you watch it here, partner, on replay. I'll get your point of view on it, but here's the pass.
And Bobcats.
It looks like the trajectory of the ball changes, like the spin action on it. Look at that right there. Doesn't it look like it changed to the right, like Crawford got a piece of that?
From this angle, it looked like the goalie hit it, but who's to argue with the referee that's like 20 feet away from it?
And that's a big call because it goes from goal kick to corner kick, and most of Steel City's chances have been off set pieces.
Very true. It is a big call, but I don't think hopefully neither one of us is saying the referee got it wrong.
That's what makes officiating so tough. Is nice job stealing that. Koshek thought he had a clean angle on the ball, and is it going to be offside on Edgewater? Yeah.
Again, you'd have to replay that.
We'll watch it right now.
Yeah, you need that VAR system to replay it.
So they didn't call it on the initial pass.
Well, it's not offside until you touch it.
Right. If it was on the guy that got the initial pass, it wasn't blown dead right away. So it's got to be on the second pass. It's such a big call.
Edgewater with it again.
He's definitely ahead of the last defender. As Jackson Magad for our second interview report of the day. Jackson, it's 2-0, but Edgewater has they put the pressure on Steel City the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, they've definitely been putting the pressure on. They just seem to be more in a groove, not scrambling as much as we saw them doing in the first half. And the message from the Edgewater coaching staff so far in the second half has just been to push the pressure, like you said, and then maintain cohesion. Connecting with one another is something that I hear said over and over and over again on the Edgewater sideline, just that connection.
What else have you heard from the Edgewater sideline? Because me and Bob have talked about it a lot on the broadcast, how anytime Edgewater gets closer to the 18-yard box, as that shot goes wide, was a touch by Crawford. Anytime they get closer to the box, every shot is off their left foot, and most people are right-handed, so the left foot would be your non-dominant foot. Have you heard about any adjustments from Edgewater to change to their right foot on those shot attempts?
I haven't heard anything from the coaching staff about that particularly, but what they keep saying is organize, organize, organize. And what I can assume that means is just sticking to their game plan and their tactics, and in turn, that has led to a lot of left-footed shots.
As that crosser in front. Jackson, final thoughts, 2-0 Steel City, but we still got a lot of soccer left.
We do have a lot of soccer left, and I think Edgewater has a chance to continue to apply pressure, hopefully put a couple in the back of the net, but Steel City right now is calm, cool, and collected. Their coaching staff with a clear head. They're relatively quiet, and I feel like they are confident in what the result in this game is going to be.
It'd be a big win for Steel City. It'd be 3 points instead of the 1. Jackson, thank you so much.
Of course.
It's Jackson Magad as 2-0 lead for Steel City, and there's one man that has changed the complexion of that game, and his name is Christian Baumgartner.
Yeah, cool, calm, and collected. All C words, right? Interesting. And they are playing this game like on a mission for sure, but very businesslike. All right, then on the other side, we have cohesion and connected. Some more C words, right? But also more cliches, I feel like. Yeah. Interesting words he's picking up from the coaching staff.
Well, the other thing is, too, he knows that Jackson is right next to him, so does he want to actually say something that Jackson would hear? I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not. The coach is probably ignoring Jackson.
Left-footed boot. As Koshik got a piece of it, the bicycle kick.
That was a tough play. He couldn't catch it because he had to jump over a defender who's trying to head the ball in, so all he can do is deflect it away. He did a good job to push it away from harm, but a good save. So we'll see if cool, calm, and collected can beat cohesion, connected, and what was the third one? Here's another one there.
A lot of alliteration there, right? The letter C alliteration.
Yeah, communication.
Well, sometimes in a game like this, all of your thoughts are going all over the place. And maybe they're overthinking it, so the coaching staff simplifying it with the words, maybe that's going to help the players a little bit?
Maybe. Sometimes I think it helps the coaches more than the players. If we say these words, the players will play better.
Just a tale of two teams.
There's a push from behind, no call.
You think of the movie Any Given Sunday, and from a 5-0 loss to being up 2-0, and they could easily be up 4-0.
Well, Edgewater has to feel happy that they're only down 2 at this point. It could have been a lot more.
Was he onside?
Offside.
Yep, he just let the goalkeeper and Crawford touch that because it was going to be
Which
offside.
is okay. Would have been offside anyway. Keep the game going.
At the same time, though, if you're up 2-0, would you want to touch the ball to waste more time? I guess it doesn't really waste that much time if you touch the ball.
Well, if the goalie gets it, the goalie can kind of hang on to it for a little while.
Which he wouldn't want to do because the Rooks are down 2-0. Now decision time for Steel City. Do you stay aggressive or a little bit more conservative as we're getting closer to the 90th minute?
Well, I said it earlier, the closer and closer we get to the 90th minute, the more conservative they're going to end up being. But I think this early in the season, they may not go into any kind of a defensive shell, even though that could essentially guarantee the win here. But I think they're going to continue to, run their offense the way that they have been running it so far, run the defense the way they have been running it so far. It's been effective so far. If a goal gets given up, then maybe, change something. But I think they're going to stay, offensive minded, kind of like practice for later games this year. So I don't think you'll see, well, there's a send. I don't think you're going to see too many changes from Steel City's perspective.
Stays on side. Baumgartner with speed. Could it be a penalty kick?
It sure is. He's pointing at the 12-yard line. So he got tripped when you tried to slide tackle the ball. He missed the ball, bounced right over his legs, and then he got the player. And I think that case, it wasn't a dive. He really did go flying.
And that's the one guy you don't want to trip from behind. Christian Baumgartner looking for the hat trick.
Well, this is going to be a 3-0 game, I think, at the end of this point.
Only good news, you got the right guy between the pipes in Crawford, but Baumgartner is a pretty darn good soccer player himself.
You know what that sounds like, the right guy in the pipes, and name is Crawford.
Here's the thing, too. Baumgartner is a Division I player at DePaul. So it's the Battle of Chicago. Lincoln Park against Edgewater. Who will win? Probably Baumgartner.
Yeah, it's the shooter always wins these deals, right? Now, it can be rebounded, so everybody else should be paying attention.
Baumgartner can score off the rebound. We saw that a couple years ago with Brandon Camacho, who original save on the PK and then scored on the rebound. Crawford doing whatever he can to preserve the game. Baumgartner scores! Show off your bald spot. Throw your hat. It's a hat trick for Baumgartner.
What a great shot. I mean, what can you say? You just knew he wasn't going to miss. Upper right side. Even if the goalie had guessed that spot, probably couldn't have reached the ball. What a great kick. That's why he's Division I. That's why he's got a hat trick today. If he plays the whole season, this team's going to go back up a division.
I think it's safe to say who our SBS player of the game is going to be, and it rhymes with Hamnartner.
Yeah, we could use a couple better rhyming words, right?
It sounds like Roland Gardner from the movie Rookie of the Year. And then the coach keeps getting his name wrong. Well, we were wondering, without Brandon Camacho, how this offense would look like. They were scoreless against RKC. I am intrigued how this season ends because Steel City, look, they're at home. It's a little bit weird for some of these soccer players for Edgewater, never playing on a baseball diamond before. I don't know how that factors in entirely into the final result.
Why do you say they've never played on a baseball diamond before?
They mostly play on park district fields, NCAA soccer fields. If they have played on a baseball diamond before, it's very, very limited. This is all turf, by the way. There's no baseball dirt. So it's a unique stadium. At the end of the day, Steel City, led by Baumgartner, took it to Edgewater tonight.
Yeah, that's what the headline would read. As much as Baumgartner was the guy getting all the goals, you almost view it like this. Steel City's been a giant funneling the ball to Baumgartner, who got the 3 goals.
And it's a Rooks team. They can score goals. They beat Green Bay 3-2. They beat AFC Roscoe 3-1. We talked about that was AFC Roscoe's only defeat in Division II last year.
Well,
they're shut out tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing that this Steel City team, like I said, is on a mission. They will move up at the end of the year between Lysick and Baumgartner. They have terrific offense. They do have a good defense. They do hustle. It's a well-coached team. I don't know why they moved down last year necessarily.
Well, it's just by record for Steel City.
But why did they have a record that qualified them to move
injuries.
down? Yeah.
There was no Hanika. We saw how good Hanika was in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Look, one player isn't the deciding factor, but...
Well, it makes a big difference.
You think about it, would France have been in the World Cup if Mbappe wasn't their forward?
That's the point, right.
Look, he's only one player, but would Argentina have won that World Cup if Messi wasn't on the team? Would they even been in the semifinals if Messi wasn't on the team? It's these things like, there's no I in the word team. That is true, but there's a foul, by the way, on Edgewater.
Yeah, or a flop. Now they called
You know,
it.
it's one of those things. We talk about it in hockey. The hockey analogy: if you feel a tug on your shin, go to the ice. See if you get a trip. Soccer, you feel a little tug on your jersey, maybe you go down. It's part of the game, right? Technically, you were pushed. Was it a heavy push?
Well, both can be true. You can be pushed and you can flop.
Right.
Yeah, just like in basketball. You can be fouled and you can still flop, and they can still call a foul. Fans are going to say, he flopped. Well, it still was a foul, even though he flopped.
Right. Did you reach in? Yes. Did you hurt his wrist when you reached in? No, but if the player knows that you hit your wrist, why not show the official that he hit your wrist? It's one of those things, right?
Well, sometimes you have to sell it.
It's not that you weren't fouled. It's not that there wasn't a foul in soccer, but you need to make it look a little bit easier for the ref, more egregious for the ref to see.
Embellish it a little bit so the ref has to call it. So a corner kick with a right-footed kicker, so it's going to curl toward the net. So you got to get a little tighter to the goalie, cause a little bit of interference, and hopefully it goes in.
They've been doing that a lot. I'm wondering if those are by design, those line drive passes.
Well, clearly they're by design. I prefer them to be a little bit higher, so on the far post you get the header, because when you kick it low on a line like that, I feel like the defense should be able to get in front of it, but it did work once earlier today.
Right. They can do a volley kick to a defender that's running up the pitch.
See, I like that one a little better, a little
Crawford
higher.
got a piece of it. Can't blame Crawford tonight. All three were not his fault. And technically he gave up 5, only 3 are going to count, but all 5 were not his fault.
That wasn't technically. Those goals didn't count. Technically, they're not goals.
Well, the officials say they weren't goals, right? No, the officials, I agree with both of those calls. It sure looked like there was some pushing right before the half. We saw a corner kick at the 47th minute. And then Baumgartner was right open in front of the net. It was a bang-bang play, but he was probably offside.
Well, and later on, you'll be putting together the highlight film, and you'll be able to tell exactly why those goals didn't go in.
But let's give credit to the Steel City defense. They forced Camille. They forced Tagati into tough spots most of the night, as Jackson Magad's going to join us shortly. And a 3-0 lead. Baumgartner on the PK to ice this one.
Yeah, one quick comment before he gets the headphones. I'm thinking that the communication, right, and the organization have been trademarks of Steel City today.
3-0 lead for Steel City, and Jackson looks like it's going to be a Steel City win. They needed it badly. They're going to get the 3 wins, and more importantly, Jackson, they might get the clean sheet against a very tough Rooks team.
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. And as you can see, Steel City is just about to empty their bench and get some of their reserves into the game, which is a clear sign of victory.
How frustrated has the coaching staff, led by Erdogan, been tonight for Edgewater?
Yeah, they've been extremely frustrated, and they've reached a point in the last 10 minutes or so where they're kind of their frustration has been internalized, and they're kind of just silent, letting the game run out, seeing what happens, and just doing their best to put their team in a good position. But the yelling and the screaming and the high intense level of coaching is not something that I'm seeing right now on the sideline from Edgewater.
So for Edgewater, do you think that they'll put in their subs? What have the coaching staff said on the sideline about putting in their subs and waving the white flag?
Yeah, they've definitely been putting in a few guys. Actually, one guy almost went out in the wrong jersey, but I digress. And you see, their bench appears to be pretty stationary right now. So, that guy, they're going to get him in, but I don't know if they're going to be doing a full clearing of the bench like you would see in a typical white flag formation.
All right, Jackson, thank you so much. We'll see you at the end of the match for our SBS Man of the Match.
Yep.
3-0 lead for Steel City. Jackson does a nice job for us, attending Loras College.
That's where one of my club setters went for volleyball, Loras College.
And look, Baumgartner has 3 goals, but Bobby had that hat trick. Actually, he scored a hat trick in the loss against Argentina as they lost on penalty kicks. But it's not just Mbappe. France was a great team, and it's not just Baumgartner. Steel City is showing why they were originally in Division 1.
Yeah, right. That funnel that's passing the ball to him has done a very, very good job today.
And Steel City led to invite everyone to the field at the conclusion of the match for a picture autograph session with Steel City. Autograph cards will be handed out at the conclusion of the match.
Steel City is giving away swag. Follow us or post a picture and tag us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and we will select a winner in the 60th minute for Steel City swag. By the way, their next home match for Steel City is right here at Slammer Stadium, June 16th at 7:45 p.m. against Berber City FC. Steel City will host Chicago Ghosts FC June 21st at Providence Catholic High School at 6 p.m. See you on the 16th right here at Slammer Stadium / Dooley Healthcare Field, and on June 21st at Providence Catholic.
So we have an injury right here behind third base over here, still on the ground. Looked like he might have got hit in the head. The training staff came out. So this doesn't look great. So the clock will continue to tick. They'll probably add some extra time for this at the end of the game, but it's just now moving. My guess would be he'll come out of the game after this.
So it was Rusakis that was around the play, but you look at it on replay here, Bob. The ball's there, and I'll slow it down after this throw-in, but
oh, it just they both went for it with their head. It was a header,
yeah.
And probably
here. Let me show you to it at 0.5 speed.
It's just now getting up. He had his bell rung. Ouch. Let's see if they leave him in the game after that.
Yeah,
don't want to play with those head injuries like this. He looks like he's staying in, shaking it off. No blood. Doesn't appear to be any.
Yeah, it was just one of those fluke things. Honestly, if the ball had gone off Rusakis, it might have been a head injury for him, but it went off the other player. So,
well, they both heads collided. It just looks like he got the worst of it. All right, so a free kick from here. Now it looks like he's coming off. Let's see.
And how big was that penalty kick for Baumgartner? If they could score here, they'd still have a chance. But
well, the bench probably wouldn't have been emptied if that goal didn't go in.
Now you wonder how much that Koshik wants the clean sheet. Pick up your teammate, try to get the clean sheet for him.
Well, if it's important to him, he's got a lot of subs in front of him now on defense.
And the injured player is...
What they really have to be careful of is a penalty in the box. Not so much a clean kick into the net, but they just don't want to get a penalty here, and so then there's not a penalty kick.
Bardia Kimiavi, he has a master's degree from Northwestern. He had the game-winning goal against NIU, the injured player. And he's from Virginia, so he's a long way from home. Grew up in Virginia, now he lives in Illinois.
Well, a master's degree from Northwestern, he's not a long way from home at all.
Well, originally he's from Virginia.
That's the long way from home part. That might get through. Nope, good defense there. A little crisper pass, I would think. Back to the goalie, push it around to the other side.
We talk about shots and good shots. Shots on goal for Steel City, 6 out of 14. 10 shots for Edgewater, but only 3 on goal. You just can't win games like that when it's only 30% shot on goal percentage.
Right, we talked about that on a couple of them where they shot it wide, and it's just too much effort to bring the ball up and hold on to it in the forward zone, right, to have somebody just wildly kick it out of bounds around the net. That's a coaching thing and a player thing.
Well, you got to give credit to Steel City. They were allowing shots, but 45-degree angle or less, more like a 40-degree angle or less shot. And it's either going to go wide or it's going to be an easy save for Koshik.
Well, and I've said this before too, talent and hustle, right? If you have talent, and Steel City does have talent, and you hustle, it's hard to defeat you.
Conditioning, right? If you're more conditioned than the opponent, you can get back on defense, recovery speed. So sometimes the forward think he's beating you, but he doesn't know your recovery speed, so you get back into the play.
Yeah, conditioning is obviously important, especially in soccer. You run 6 miles a day in a game like this.
And remember, it's a soccer game or a football match. You can't call it, right? Can't call it a football game or a soccer match. It's either or, right? One or the other.
Isn't there a great little,
right there.
I think there's a great skit out there where the guy calls it football and, well, how often do you kick the ball? Well, just a little bit.
But then again, the first 3 Super Bowls that Tom Brady won were by 3 points in each game. So did Tom Brady win that Super Bowl, or did his kicker, Adam Vinatieri, win those Super Bowls?
Oh, my.
I mean, mathematically speaking, they would not have won the game without Adam Vinatieri.
I don't know. I think you're committing football heresy here. All right, right-footed kicker from the corner, trying to dent the lead.
Nice set piece.
Yeah, that's the passes I like. High, hard on the far side of the net for the deflection, but that went through. Nobody was there.
So now that this match is over with and Steel City's going to win, for both teams, do you want to run set pieces, free kicks, etc., stuff you haven't worked on as much in practice to try to get some reps with?
I think you're just still trying to, figure out how to, play a respectable game, because you have to play this way the next time. I don't think you're trying to work on set pieces. You do that in practice, but I think they're just trying to, connect on their passes, include additional people into their offense later. What you find is when you empty your bench like this, you might find somebody who was better than you thought they were in a real situation. Maybe you can work them in differently in a future game.
Steel City would like to invite everyone to the field at the conclusion of the match for a picture and autograph session with Steel City. Autograph cards will be handed out at the conclusion of the match. When Joliet is hungry, it calls Nico's Catering. Nico's has a wide-ranging menu and is the exclusive food provider to Steel City FC. BL Duke is revolutionizing the scrap metal recycling industry through innovation and cutting-edge technology. BL Duke is recognized as one of Crane's Fast 50 companies. Partner with them and experience the BL Duke difference.
I'm going to tease you. Did you memorize all those?
I did not.
You're very good at it.
Out in front. Steel City trying to clear it in the box. You're right, partner. It's been a very clean game. We've seen a couple of yellow cards, but mostly just overly aggressive and led to those yellow cards.
Exactly. They were not nasty yellow cards. They were just overly aggressive yellow cards. Like that is a nice tackle.
Right. And that's the difference. When you're up 3-0, you can do that aggressive slide tackle. When it's 1-0, he probably wouldn't have slid tackle like
well, and
that.
he's got a margin of error. I mean, if he misses and it's a penalty kick, it's still only 3-1. But
right.
man, I want to be the defender that allows a penalty kick to wipe out this shutout.
It's not like Koshik has been overly tested today. We talked about that 30% shot on goal percentage, but he's your teammate. You want to pick up your teammate. You work for your teammates. They're your brothers, right? You try to get a shutout for your goalkeeper.
And I think the second unit that's mostly in has a lot of pride in maintaining the shutout. Playing very
Edgewater
well.
is keeping up the pressure. They're not, being lackadaisical in both offense or defense.
Yeah, nobody's giving up.
What does Edgewater have to work on? We talked about they've been forced into tough shots all day, a lot of left-footed kicks. Try to go into the weight room more, see if they can score more off left-footed kicks?
No, I do think it's more mental and more ball control. And, probably, even though I tease those cliche things, probably communication does need to improve, right? And the organization, they need to stay organized, which will result in less turnovers.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but we might get a free kick right near the box.
Well, to me, it looked like just a bicycle kick, and he landed on the ground. He's injured.
Well, there was another guy around, so I'm going to show you the replay.
They are getting the free kick from there, though.
So a lot was happening on that play.
So they'll set up a wall on one side, put the goalie on the other. Goalie is pushing them a little bit to the right. Nope, the other right. And see how this goes. It's a golden opportunity. Stopped in the box, no hand call. Not that there should have been.
How tough is it to shoot over that box, because he shot it right at the chest of the wall. Koshik, it's still loose. Chance for Edgewater. Nice clear by Steel City. Still in the box. Left-footed kick, another block shot. My goodness, the defense for Steel City has been absolutely phenomenal.
It was a steel wall.
How long have you been holding that one in?
But it's almost impossible that close to kick the ball over the wall and have it drop, below what you're hoping to do is maybe hit it at somebody's head and they duck rather than hit it.
We talk about the 3-0 win. Lysick exited the match at 35 minutes. So we're talking about 65 minutes without quite possibly their best player, although Baumgartner might be their best player now. But without Lysick, they were arguably better without him than with him.
Well, you need both, and this is one of the reasons why they're very good this year. They have a true 1-2 punch here now.
We're in the 90th minute, 89:36 on the clock. Baumgartner with all 3 goals. He was the Mbappe tonight of the Midwest Premier League.
Yeah, you have to give him the MVP tonight. Obviously, the goalie was good. Lysick, of course, was the usual good.
Yeah, the game started. Set piece, corner kick. Lysick on the pass, and Steel City never looked back.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that this year.
So interesting, a player was injured. We talked about the injury to the former graduate student in Mardia Kimiavi, but they're going to blow it dead right at 90 minutes. Are you surprised by that? They didn't play 92 minutes because of the injury to Kimiavi?
I actually am surprised. At the same time, it's 3-0. What's the point? But yeah, no, I expected to play a couple more minutes than that. But yeah, they stopped it right at 90. Gave them no additional time. But you know, at the end of the day, there were not that many stoppages other than that one injury. So I think that's what the referee decided in conjunction with a 3-0 win. But a great hustling job from Steel City, and then Edgewater Castle, even though they lost 3-0, they hustled better in the second half, and I think they'll take that as what they need to do going forward. But a great game today, especially for Steel City on their home field, on the home baseball field.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then it'll be Christian Baumgartner for the SBS Man of the Match here on SBS, the broadcasting network for everyone.
But I do. Okay, ask the question again. Sorry. I wanted to change. I wanted to try an exercise style different than I had done. I felt like I was in a bit of a rut in my late 40s, gaining weight for no reason. And I'd heard a lot about it's just good to lift heavy weight. So I came in to explore that. It's different than any other workout I've ever done, and I like the community of people. When I come to the workout, I was nervous about doing these workouts by myself, but I really enjoy that as well. So I don't know, trying new things, lifting heavy weights, and community. Coaches, people I've met in class, it's fun, people who are fun to work out with, so I like showing up to those classes. And working with Danielle on nutrition. It's been a big game changer because it changed my energy, and I was able to come in here more often, which I love.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on Channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter! at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
A deal for me?
A deal for everyone! 17 East Van Buren Street, Joliet, Illinois.
Now this is some bull.
And another 3 for the ball! Oh, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm's here to help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
They're my neighbors. Come on in, guys.
Bringing fans together. State Farm, official sponsor of Liga MX. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
A 3-0 big zing up. I'm Kyle Smith. Along. Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Zing Up. I'm Kyle Smith, along with the man of the match, the guy with a hat trick, Christian Baumgartner. A 3-0 big-time win for Steel City tonight as they're very much alive for moving on to Division I in the Heartland Division. Huge win for you tonight. Jake Lysick with the pass for you off the set piece, and you guys never look back.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for an easier hat trick, to be honest. You know, the first one, Jake Lysick, great corner. He's put in great service all day in the corners. Second one was pass straight across. Could not have been more on a silver platter. And finally, Hans, you know, what a selfless play to win the penalty and allow me to take and complete the hat trick. So a great 3 points, and like you said, road to promotion. That's the most important thing here.
So you'll listen to it on the telecast and the highlight reel. It was a soft line drive corner kick. So we said it wasn't a good one because Lysick's usually known for the hang time, but it was a low liner. Number one, have you worked on that in practice on the low liner corner kick? And number two, was that by design because Edgewater was kind of discombobulated on defense early on in the match?
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that we could get in behind them with the through balls and the long balls, and with the corners, we've been working on those, and ultimately, you know, when you have the two targets in the box, Hans just draws a whole lot of attention, and it allows for players like me and Trey to, you know, sneak through the fence and get one in.
For the keepers tonight, it was a Division I battle between Crawford and Koshik. Koshik won tonight, a clean sheet for him. Were you working on that, making sure you got the shutout for him late in the match?
Absolutely, that's the most important thing. You know, the attackers feasted today, and so is the defense. And yeah, he came up with some great saves. You know, there wasn't just no shot performance. You know, he had to put some work in for that, and he succeeded.
How many times have you gotten a hat trick? Because you seem so calm and composed on the pitch with your first, second, and third goals tonight.
So this is one of my first times playing striker in a long while, and Coach Thiller gave me the opportunity, and I absolutely love it. It's a whole lot of fun. So we're probably looking at 10 years since the last hat trick. You know, probably U10. Yeah.
A total 180-degree turn. You lose 5-0 in the opening match against RKC Third Coast. Then you win 3-0 tonight at home. You're still down in the goal for differential, -2, but you're still very much alive for winning Division II.
Yes. That RKC team was an absolute great team, and good news is, you know, we get to play them here at home, and that's how we're going to make up the ground, and that's where we're going to get the points.
Final thoughts about the win tonight, and real quickly, is it tough for teams like Edgewater to play on a baseball diamond?
It's a great question. So I come from DePaul, where we're also playing on a softball diamond. And yeah, I think there's some ruts in the pitch from the bases and from the mound. But honestly, you can't ask for a better complex. The turf's great, and the surroundings and all the fans create a great experience.
That's Christian Baumgartner. That does it for our broadcast tonight. So for Bob Vilsaway, Jackson McGann, Kelsey Clemens, and everybody else who worked tonight, we'll see you next time on SBS.
And shout out to Stooges Landscaping for all your landscaping needs in the Lennox area. Check out our website, and thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Christian.